G'day YouTube, welcome back to another video on my bonsai. I've got the final trident maple to repot for this season. It's a big guy, it's a really big guy. I've been putting him off to last because they get tiring work, these big trees. So hopefully everyone can hear me better now. I've improved my sound system. Hopefully you can hear me clearly, and I've hopefully reducing the wind in the microphone as well, because it's a pretty windy day and hopefully it doesn't come through today, but hopefully you can hear me nice and clear. This is another big trident maple, so that's my size comparison. Hopefully you can see me. It's a very big tree. It's got a lot of ramifications starting to develop, really cool ramification, starting to really build up, but it's actually nice and it doesn't look contrived. It's starting to really look quite an interesting deciduous tree. Still has the layered look, which I'm trying to build out of the tree, but I'll get there. There's a few branches that just need to be wired around and moved around and things like that. But this tree hasn't been repotted in 2 years, so I'm going to have the same problem in the sense that the roots are going to be full in this pot. And the problem is this pot I think also has a lip, just from memory, or maybe not. I'll have to check. So it's a big tree too, so I'm going to be really struggling again, maybe huffing and puffing and getting this tree repotted, but it's my last big trident, so I want to get it done today and over and done with, so then I can do some final prep for my trees for the show coming up soon, 27-28. I'm sure this video will make it in that pic. So let's get started, guys, and see how we go. Okay, like always, let's get into it. Now, even though I might take it off, lots of weeds, let's try and scrape them off. Now, 2 years in this pot for such a big tree, I expect it to be full of Now, another thing, sometimes when I have big trees like this and I can't get them out of the pot easily, I sometimes just get my scissors or a saw and I start to actually cut into and around the edge of the pot, so to help me remove it. So I'm just going to try and get it out with this and see how it goes. Almost forgot the almost forgot the root. Oh, it's actually snapped in my hand. So it must have broke. Man, maybe this tree's grown so much it took over the wire in just 2 years. So that's gone. That's not there anymore. So let's keep going. I'm going to try and work as fast as I can. Now, as I spin the tree around, you probably can see the ramification on it. It's quite nice and three-dimensional. Lots of branching and twigs. Now, the way I mainly get that is I pretty much defoliate this tree every year. Now, I've done previous videos on defoliation, so you just have a look through my video list, and you can see how I defoliate my trident maples. Oh, it's moving already. It's pretty good. It's a good sign. I don't think there's a lip on this pot, looks like. I think there might have been. No. Maybe a tiny little one, but nothing too hard. So, oh, looking good. Oh, there you go. Oh. As you expect, watch out and have a look at these roots. Sometimes the only way is to tilt them and out. Tilt them and then try and pull them back out. That's it. That's the size of the pot that it's in. Pretty big. I'll pretty much go straight back in that one. It's a good pot for it. it suits it really well. So yeah, just let me show you. Oh, the roots, tons of roots. It's solid. It's going to be another combing out, cleaning up. You've seen multiple videos of that. I don't want to go through that again step by step, but I'll do a little time lapse so you can see how I'll go through it quickly. But yeah, another big trident, nice healthy roots. Yeah, just got to be repotted now. So I'll come back, I'll do a time lapse so you can see me work through. Again, I just clear up all the, I do like to clear the moss off the top so you can see the nabari again. Comb out the roots, cut them off, wash the soil off this tree, because I'm finding it's quite fine and muddy at the top. It's too fine, so we'll do that. Yeah, same steps over and over again that you've seen in multiple videos, but let me do a time lapse so you can see how I quickly go through it, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how it's finished up. Okay guys, thank you. After I wash the soil out, you can see these very interesting white looking, looks like roots, doesn't it? But it's actually weeds. So one of the good things about you washing the soil out with the jet spray hose, is you get to see up close these weeds that you can actually pluck out. Hopefully you can find the seed, so they don't grow again. So good idea to wash your soil, wash your trees, and get all that out. Okay. So bit of sun glare now, unfortunately, but I've been able to wash the roots out, wash the soil out. I dug up all the weeds I can get, the roots and all, so make sure I dispose of them. So I still found a few more of that, but you'll see them throughout the thing. So just pick them out when you see them, because you don't want weeds in your trees, of course. But I mean, obviously it's a constant battle sometimes. You can't help it. But yeah, see how you go. So tree's ready, ready to go. I did find a lot of this tree 2 years in the pot is probably not a good thing for it, because it actually had very heavy roots. Some very heavy roots developed. So you want the fine roots to develop. So because this tree stayed 2 years, those roots really developed very, very fast. So I think this year, this tree might have to do an every year repot, which sucks because it's really big. But it's the health of the tree that's important, and we'll see how it is. So I'll put that tree aside just for a sec. Bring in the pot, which I've prepared, and I've put soil in. It's bloody heavy. Okay. There we go. Ready to go. Got the two tie wires. They actually go this way. So we'll tie the tree in. I've mounded up the soil in the middle. Now I'll grab my tree. Now obviously it's sitting up high yet because it's on the mound. So I just got to make sure I position it how I like. I always check on the side to make sure it's coming forward slightly. So something like that. Pretty much in the same spot it was before. It's kind of in the middle, this one. It's got that strength to be in the middle. Maybe slightly that way. Slightly to the right, but not much. It's pretty close to the middle. Just want to make sure it's straight. Yeah, looks good. Now there's a bit of a gap in the soil, so I might top up the soil before I tie the tree in. So I don't want to fill in these areas, just so that when I tighten it up, it's nice and tight. Just a quick one with my fingers. I haven't used my chopsticks yet. Just a quick one just to get in under there. So I'm pretty happy. That's nice and firm in. So I'm going to tie the tree in. Alright. So now I'm just going to work the soil in. and pretty much finish up the tree. So the good thing is this tree pretty much sits on that back bench there pretty much all year round. So I'll probably just move it back there because this is probably my final repotting of my maples for this year. I do have a couple of I have some Japanese maples that I have to repot as well. So stay tuned. Not many, just a couple. I do have a group of trident maples as well, forest, but that forest needs some work. So maybe that's a project that I'll show in later videos down the line somewhere. But let me just get this tree nice, all the soil in. Yeah, I use my chopstick to work the soil into the little gaps and root into the little spots, which is kind of boring to watch, but it's a necessity you have to do. Just eliminate all the air pockets, get the roots all covered. Yeah, I didn't even talk about this lovely base here. It's a nice, pretty much almost formal, but I want to try and make it more of a deciduous looking tree rather than a triangular kind of tree. So when this comes into leaf, it actually fills out quite nicely and it looks more rounded. But it's a slow process of developing it again. Have a look at all the roots that came off it, tons of them. So it's a nice healthy tree, and I'll be back to show you the final product. So I have finished repotting it, and it's sitting in its spot and won't move from that spot pretty much unless I turn it during spring and summer and turn it and rotate it. That's about it. But nicely repotted. There's the tree all done and dusted. Look at that Nabari, just love it. Just want to develop that a bit more over the years, but there you go. Thanks guys, see you next time for a next video.